The gift no one wanted. Jack stood in the cold rain, staring at the grave. His stepsister, Mira, was gone. She had died in a lab accident just 3 days ago, even though they were not close. She was the only family he had left. Mira was always strange, smart, secretive, and always busy with her science work. Jack never really understood what she did, but she often warned him, "Never open my door without asking." Now, she was gone, and Jack felt like something was unfinished. After the funeral, a man in a black suit approached him. "Are you Jack Winters?" The man asked. "Yes," Jack said slowly. "I'm Mira's lawyer. She left something for you." The man handed Jack a sealed envelope and a small silver key. Then he turned and walked away without another word. Jack opened the envelope. Inside was a short note, written in Mira's handwriting. "Jack, if you're reading this, then I'm gone. Go to my apartment. Use the key. You'll find a room behind the bookshelf. Do not be afraid. Protect her. She's yours now." Mira. Jack's hands shook. Protect her? Who? Later that evening, Jack went to Mira's apartment. The place was dark and smelled like old books and chemicals. Everything was just as she had left it, clean, organized, and quiet. He found the bookshelf easily. Behind it, a hidden door. The silver key fit perfectly. The lock clicked, and the door opened with a soft creak. What Jack saw inside changed everything. Not human, not machine. Jack didn't sleep that night. Every few minutes, he walked to the living room and checked if the girl Alara was still breathing. She was. She slept quietly, as if nothing was wrong, but Jack's mind was racing. Who was she? What did Mira mean by protect her? And most important, what was Alara? The next morning, Jack woke up to the sound of something breaking in the kitchen. He rushed out and saw Alara standing there, holding a broken glass in her hand. She looked scared, confused. I was hungry, she said softly, her eyes shining with tears. Jack quickly helped her sit down. "It's okay. I'll make something." She didn't want eggs or toast or anything Jack had. Instead, she opened the small silver bag that she had brought from the pod and pulled out a strange jelly cube. She ate it slowly, like it was normal food. "What is that?" Jack asked. "Nutrient compound," she answered. "Mira gave it to me." Jack watched her carefully. Her movements were smooth, almost to perfect. She didn't blink often. Her voice was soft, but emotionless, like she was trying to act human. He noticed something else. Her skin. It looked like normal skin, but sometimes it shimmered in the light like there was something under it. After breakfast, Jack tried to talk to her more. "Do you remember anything? Who you are? Where you're from?" "My name is Alara," she said. "I was born in the lab. I don't know any place else. Do you know Mira?" She paused, then nodded. "She took care of me, taught me things, said I was special." "Special how?" Alara looked down at her hands, then back at Jack. "Because I'm not like you." Jack wanted answers. He waited for Alara to sleep again, then went back to Mira's secret lab room. He searched every drawer, every box. Finally, he found a hidden panel on the wall. Inside was a flash drive. He plugged it into Mira's old laptop. It was password protected, but when he typed Alara, it opened. Videos, documents, lab notes, all marked Project Helix-7. Jack clicked on the first video. Mira stood in a lab coat, looking serious. "If you're seeing this, I'm probably dead. I created Alara using alien genetic material recovered from the crash near Sector 12. She is not fully human, not fully alien. She's both, and she is more important than anyone realizes." Jack's breath caught. "Alien? Was this real?" Mira continued. "Her mind is different. She learns faster, heals faster, connects to energy we don't fully understand. But there's more. She is a beacon. They will come for her, and if they find her, they will come for us all." Jack's hands trembled. He looked at the sleeping girl. Was she dangerous or in danger? Later that night, Jack sat on the couch, while Alara stared out the window. She had barely spoken all day. "Alara?" Jack asked. She turned. Her eyes looked different, almost glowing. "Do you remember anything else? Like where the alien part of you comes from?" She nodded slowly. "Sometimes I dream. I see stars, ships, voices calling me. I think they're real memories." Jack swallowed hard. "Do you remember who they are?" "No, but I know they're not human, and they're looking for me." Silence filled the room. Why? Jack asked quietly. Because I was made to find them. At midnight, Jack heard a noise outside. A low, electric hum. He looked out the window. Nothing. But something didn't feel right. He checked the security camera feed Mira had set up around the house. And the last camera at the edge of the trees, a figure stood still, tall, not moving. No face visible. Just watching the house. Jack froze. When he blinked, the figure was gone. He turned to Alara. Someone's outside. She stood up slowly. They found me. Who? Jack asked. The ones who built me. I thought Mira built you. No, Alara said quietly. She just woke me up. Jack locked all the doors and windows. He grabbed the few things Mira left behind: notes, files, and a strange black cube with buttons on it. It looked alien. Alara walked over and touched the cube. It lit up. What is this? Jack asked. A memory holder. It's mine. The cube floated into the air and began to glow. An image formed: stars, ships, planets exploding. At one word spoken in a strange alien voice: receiver. Alara looked at Jack. They called me that because I can hear them across the stars. Jack felt dizzy. What do they want from you? To finish what they started. Jack sat down, overwhelmed. Why did Mira leave you with me? Alara hesitated. Because you're not fully human either. Jack stared at her. What are you talking about? She reached for his hand and placed it on the side of her face. You feel it too, don't you? The strange dreams, the things that don't make sense. Mira didn't just make me, she changed you too. Jack pulled back, his heart racing. No, that's not possible. But deep down, he remembered things. Blackouts, dreams of stars, of running in strange places. Maybe Alara was right. Outside. The night became quiet. To quiet. And in the woods, something moved again. Something not human. Watching. Waiting. The room was like a small lab full of machines, screens, and strange lights. In the center was a glass pod, glowing faintly blue. Inside the pod lay a girl. She looked about 17. Pale skin, silver hair. Her eyes were closed. Wires were connected to her arms, and strange symbols were glowing across her skin. Jack stepped closer. His heart pounded. Was she asleep or frozen? Suddenly, her eyes opened. They were deep violet, almost glowing. She looked straight at Jack. You're the one she chose, the girl whispered, her voice soft and calm. Before Jack could speak, the pod hissed and opened. The girl slowly sat up, blinking as if waking from a long dream. Then, without warning, she collapsed into Jack's arms. Hey, are you okay? Jack panicked, trying to catch her. She was warm, alive. Her skin glowed for a moment. Then the symbols faded. Jack carried her to the couch in the main room. She was breathing, but weak. Who are you? He asked. She didn't reply, just closed her eyes and fell into a deep sleep. Jack sat down beside her. His head spun with questions. Who was this girl? Why did Mira leave her with him? And what were those symbols on her skin? As night fell, Jack looked through Mira's old papers. Nothing made sense. Codes, diagrams, and notes about something called Project Helix 7. He found a picture of Mira with the same girl, both smiling. On the back, Mira had written, her name is Alara. Take care of her. That night, Jack couldn't sleep. The girl Alara was now resting in the next room. Quiet, still. He checked on her once more. She looked peaceful now, almost human. But something told Jack she was in single quotes T. Just as he turned to leave, Alara suddenly spoke in her sleep. They are coming for me. Jack froze. Who was coming, and why did Mira trust him with this? Alien girl, outside the window. Something moved. In the shadows, a soft hum, like a machine, echoed in the distance. Jack didn't notice. He stood there, looking at Alara, as a strange feeling filled his chest. This was no ordinary gift. This was a warning. A beginning. And Jack Winters had just stepped into something far bigger than he could imagine. Project Helix 7. Jack couldn't breathe. He stared at Alara, trying to understand her words. What do you mean? I'm not fully human. She didn't answer right away. Instead, she picked up the glowing cube again and closed her eyes. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the cube showed something new, a video log. Mira's voice played again, but this time her tone was different, softer. Jack, if you're hearing this, you've seen Alara. I know you're confused, but you need to understand something. I didn't just build her. I changed you, too. Jack's hands curled into fists. When you were sick as a child, I did something. I used part of the alien DNA we recovered. It saved your life, but it also unlocked something inside you, something human minds were never meant to hold. The video cut off. Silence.ela. looked at him with sad eyes. That's why you're connected to me. Why I trust you. Our bodies were made to respond to each other. Jack stood up and walked across the room. He felt cold, like his entire life had been a lie. Why didn't she tell me? He whispered. Because she was scared, Alara replied. She didn't know what you'd become. Later that night, Jack returned to the lab. He wanted answers, real ones. The computers were still running. Backed by Mira's old emergency generator. He searched the files under Helix 7. One folder was marked Final Phase. Not approved. Inside were reports, video logs, and test results. Jack read through pages of code, strange genetic sequences, and images of creatures that looked nothing like humans. Some looked like failed experiments. Others were close to ELA or A. But one file made him freeze. Subject, JW7. Jack Winters, his own name. His own DNA. The file said, JW7 response to Alara's presence. Shared neural patterns confirmed. Activation only possible if both survive. Exposure. Jack stared at the screen, shaking. What was he supposed to activate? Before he could dig deeper, a loud noise came from the hallway, a sharp, mechanical click. Jack grabbed a metal rod from the table and moved quietly. He turned the lights off and waited in the shadows. The door creaked open. A drone, small, black, with blinking red eyes, floated in. It scanned the room. Jack didn't move. Suddenly, the drone spoke. Target located. Helix 7 confirmed. Subject, unstable. Jack jumped out and smashed it with the rod. Sparks flew. It crashed to the ground. Twitching. He ran back upstairs. Alara, they found us. She was already at the window, eyes wide. They're not coming. They're here, outside. The black vans pulled up to the house. Men in suits stepped out, armed with strange weapons that hum like electricity. Who are they? Jack asked. Not government, Alara said. They work for a private group. Mira called them the Sentries. They want me back. Why? Because they think I can open the gate. Jack frowned. What gate? Alara didn't answer. Instead, she reached into her backpack and pulled out a device that looked like a remote with glowing runes. Mira said to use this if they ever came. She pressed a button. A low hum filled the air and a door in the floor opened. A hidden escape tunnel. Come, she said. We have to run. They ran through the tunnel. It was dark, cold, and smelled of metal and earth. How long does this go? Jack asked. Underground toward the forest. Mira built it years ago. Behind them, loud footsteps echoed in the tunnel. They're following us. Jack shouted, keep running. Alara cried. The tunnel twisted and turned until they reached a steel ladder. At the top was a hatch. Alara pushed it open and they climbed out into the woods. They were free for now. They ran through the trees until they reached an old cabin hidden deep in the forest. Jack had never seen it before. This place, Alara said, was Mira's secondary lab. We're safe here, for a little while. Inside, it was dusty but full of old tech. Jack powered up a small terminal, and Alara plugged in the memory. Q began. More files open. This time, they showed something different. A huge stone gate covered in symbols standing in a desert. Alien ships in the sky. Light pouring from the gate. Jack whispered, what is that? It's called the core gate. Alara replied, it's a portal between worlds, and you can open it. Yes, she said, but only with you. Jack looked at her, fear and anger in his eyes. Am I even human anymore? Alara stepped closer. You feel human. You love. You're scared. You protect. You fight. She touched his chest. That's what makes you human, not your DNA. For a moment, they stood in silence. The only sound was the wind in the trees. Then Jack whispered, what happens if we open the gate? Alara looked away. Either we save this world or destroy it. That night, Jack couldn't sleep again. He sat outside the cabin, staring at the stars. Suddenly, a light blinked in the sky, red, pulsing. Getting closer. A low, distant voice echoed in his mind. Receiver, awaken. He fell to his knees, clutching his head. Inside the cabin, Alara sat up. She felt it. Something had been activated. She remembers too much. Asterisk. The next morning, Jack woke up with blood on his pillow. His nose had bled during the night. Again, his hands were shaking. His heartbeat was faster than normal. And he couldn't remember his dreams. But something was different. He felt connected, like part of his brain had turned on and didn't want to turn off. Alara sat across from him, knees pulled to her chest, eyes staring at the floor. I saw the stars again, she whispered. Jack looked at her. What do you mean? I saw their world, not in a dream. It was real, like I was there, like they pulled me into their sky. Her hands trembled. They're calling me back, and now they're calling you too. In the silence, a soft hum began to fill the cabin. The walls vibrated slightly, lights flickered. Jack stood up. Is that the device again? Alara shook her head. No, that's me. Her eyes were glowing faintly. Her skin shimmered like silver silk. Something's changing, she said. The closer we are to each other, the more it activates. Jack, step closer. The hum grew louder. You said I was like you, he said. But what does that mean now? Alara looked up, her voice shaking. It means we were designed to unlock something no one else can. They returned to the old terminal, now showing a map. Glowing lines were moving slowly across the Tenergy. Readings connected to the portal. A flashing marker appeared on the screen. Site activation -6 days. Jack read the message on the terminal. Helix 7 linked. Core gate awakening. Blood match confirmed. His eyes widened. We activated it just by being alive. Alara nodded, and now they know exactly where we are. Jack spent the next hour going through Mira's files. He needed to understand what he had become, what they both were. He found a hidden folder marked Phase 0, memory block. Inside were scans of Alara's brain. Code, images, data with one phrase repeated. Her memories are locked. If they come back, she will remember what she truly is. Jack whispered, Alara, your memories weren't just lost. They were hidden. Alara looked stunned. Mira said I was created, that I had no past. Jack turned the laptop round. She lied. Suddenly, Alara grabbed her head and cried out. Images rushed through her mind. Being in a glass tank, surrounded by tall beings with glowing eyes. Standing in a city made of crystal, a voice saying, You are the key. She screamed. Jack caught her as she collapsed. Alara. Her breathing was shallow. The glowing marks on her skin reappeared brighter than ever. Her voice became robotic. Alien portal sequence, active. Merging core, unstable. Host memory is 78%. Then she passed out. Jack sat by her side for hours. When she woke, she looked at him with new eyes. I remember, she said. Remember what? Who I was. Who they were. What this world means to them. Jack felt a chill down his spine. Then tell me. Alara sat up. Slowly, the beings. They're called they're wrong. They're not gods, not monsters. They're travelers, explorers. They plant seeds in other worlds. They don't just visit, they change planets. Like Earth? Jack asked. Lara nodded. I was part of a scout group. I was meant to observe and leave. But I was caught. My body was dying until Mira found me. And she saved you. Jack said, Yes, but she also rewrote me. Alara looked into Jack's eyes. Mira used your DNA to stabilize mine. You and I, we are the result of two species forced to merge. Jack was silent. So what now? He asked finally. Lara stood up. We have to find the gate. Jack frowned. Why? Because if we don't, they'll open it without us. And if that happens, every human on this planet becomes like me. They gathered supplies from the cabin, tools, batteries, Mira's field journal. Inside it, they found coordinates. The gate was in a hidden valley, deep beyond the forest. A place marked only by symbols and warnings. Alara whispered. She knew this day would come. Jack nodded. Then let's finish what she started. As they prepared to leave, Jack heard something behind the cabin. He turned quickly. Nothing. But the air was wrong. It was cold, heavy, unnatural. Lara looked up. They're near. A loud screech echoed from above. A drone dropped from the sky, firing a pulse of light. Jack and Alara ducked. More drones arrived. Behind them, black uniformed sentries moved through the trees. One of them shouted, Helix 7, stand down. Return the subject. Alara grabbed Jack's arm. Don't run. Watch. She raised her hands and her eyes flashed white. The ground beneath the sentries cracked. Roots tore upward like snakes. The drones froze midair and exploded in sparks. Everything went still. Jack stared at her. What was that? Alara looked shaken. I didn't know. I could do that. Jack whispered. What else are you capable of? Alara answered. That's what scares me. They left the cabin in silence. They walked for hours through the deep forest, following the map. That night, they camped beneath the stars. Jack sat beside the fire, staring into it. What if they're right? He asked. Who? The sentries. What if you're too dangerous? What if I am? Elara reached for his hand. Dangerous doesn't mean evil. We didn't ask for this. We just are. He looked at her, and for the first time, he didn't feel fear. He felt purpose. In the distance, far beyond the forest, a massive circular stone ring waited beneath the earth. Silent, ancient, glowing slowly in time with Jack's heartbeat. The gate was waking. Visitors from the sky. The valley was dead silent. Not a single bird, not a single breeze. Just silence and the heavy breath of something ancient buried beneath the dirt. Jack stood at the edge, staring down into the crater. The gate was real. A perfect circle of black stone lay deep in the valley floor, half buried by time. Symbols glowed along its edge, pulsing like a slow heartbeat. Elara knelt beside it, her hand resting on the stone. It's listening, she whispered. Jack looked around. To what? She turned to him. To us. Mira's journal had led them. Here, the last page simply read, when the sky listens, the earth will answer. But the answer may not be what you expect. Jack didn't know what that meant, but Elara did. This isn't just a door, she said. It's a mirror. It shows us what we truly are. Jack didn't like the sound of that. As night fell, they made camp on the valley edge. Elara sat by the fire, silent. Her skin was changing again, glowing softly. Her voice had become calmer, more focused. But Jack noticed something else. Her heartbeat. It was slower, unnaturally slow, and fading. Are you okay? He asked. She smiled faintly. I don't think I'm meant to last much longer. Don't say that, Jack, she said gently. My body wasn't made to stay on this planet forever. I'm breaking down. Every hour we're closer to the gate, I feel less human. He knelt beside her, taking her hand. You're not less. You're more. She looked at him with soft eyes. That's why Mira chose you. You see me as I am, not as what I was built to be. Suddenly, the sky lit up. A red tear opened above the trees, silent, smooth, like someone slicing the sky open with a blade. Jack stood up. What the hell is that? Elara's eyes widened. They're here. A ship descended. Smooth, silver, and silent. No wings, no lights, just pure shape, alien, beautiful, and terrifying. It didn't land. It hovered. Watching. From it, 3 beings floated down. They weren't machines. They weren't humans. Tall, faceless, glowing with cold blue light. Their feet didn't touch the ground. Their eyes were like mirrors reflecting stars. They're wrong, Elara whispered. Jack stepped in front of her. The beings spoke without sound. The words entered Jack's head like whispers from inside his bones. Receiver, beacon, hybrid. You have awakened the gate. Now choose. Jack shouted. Choose what? The middle figure floated closer. Its body changed shape, becoming human-like. It took Jack's form. His face. His voice. We offer rebirth. A new world. Open the gate, and your kind joins us. Refuse, and be erased. Elara stood, weak but firm. You don't want peace. You want control. The Iran voice replied. Control is peace. Jack felt something shift inside him. His skin burned. His eyes blurred. The gate behind him began to glow, responding to him. Elara cried out. They're triggering your neural code. They're trying to use you to force the gate open. Jack gritted his teeth. Then turn it off. I can't, she said, unless I connect to it fully. But if I do, I won't come back. What does that mean? Jack asked. I'll be part of the gate. Forever, my body will dissolve. My mind will stay inside, keeping it shut. No, we'll find another way. There is no other way, Jack. They planned this from the start. Then Ron stepped forward again. She must return to us. She belongs to the stars. Jack raised his voice. No, she belongs here, with me. Suddenly, the Iran changed. Their soft light hardened. They began to form weapons, blades of energy from thin air. Elara pulled Jack close. If we wait any longer, they'll take both of us. Then what do we do? She looked at him with fire in her eyes. We fight. The battle was fast. Elara raised her arms, energy bursting from her fingertips. Trees bent. Rocks exploded. One of their Ron fell, burning with white fire. Jack moved like someone else controlled him, dodging blasts. Seeing seconds into the future, they were more than human now. They were something else. But even together, they were losing. Turan remained stronger. Faster. Ela fell to her knees, coughing silver blood. I can't hold them. Jack turned to her, breathless. Then we opened the gate, but on our terms. He grabbed her hand. They both stepped to the center of the gate. Symbols rose around them, floating in the air. Time slowed. The Iran screamed, but couldn't reach them. The gate responded to heartbeats. One signal. Jack and Alara looked at each other one last time. Don't let go, she said. Never, he replied. They placed their hands on the stone. Light exploded outward, blinding, silent, an endless dot in the center of the light. Alara smiled. Her body was breaking apart, but she felt no pain. Jack was crying but smiling too. He felt her soul inside him. Together, they gave the gate a command. Lock, seal, in transmission. When the light faded, the valley was empty. No ship, no wrong, no gate. Just Jack on his knees holding nothing. She was gone, but she had saved them. Or so he thought. 3 months later, Jack lived quietly now. No noise, no labs, no missions. But every night, he dreamed of her. Until one morning, he woke up to a voice outside. Soft, familiar. He opened the door. A girl stood there, silver hair, violet eyes, but younger, calmer. Hi, she said. Alara. He whispered. She smiled. Not exactly, but close enough. You called me back. Love, war, and DNA asterisk. Jack stared at the girl on his doorstep. She looked like Alara. Same eyes, same voice, same calmness. But something was off. This wasn't his Alara. Not exactly. Who are you? He asked, heart racing. She tilted her head, like she was studying him. I'm what's left of her, and what she left behind inside the gate. Jack stepped back. Part of him wanted to run. Another part wanted to fall into her arms. You shouldn't be here, he whispered. You called me. She replied. When you touched the gate that day, you sent out a signal. Jack blinked. I didn't mean to. I know, she said, gently stepping inside. But the gate listens to feeling, not words. And your feeling was lost for the next few days. Jack and the girl, who now called herself Alara too, lived in silence. She cooked. She walked barefoot on the grass. She read the books Mira left behind. But she didn't sleep. Not once. Jack watched her constantly, unsure whether to trust her or fear her, until one night, he asked, What are you? She looked at the stars. I'm not a copy. I'm not a ghost. I'm a memory. Ray formed into matter. Your DNA and hers mixed inside the gate. That Ron didn't understand emotion, but the gate did, and it brought me back, because it felt something unfinished. Jack stayed quiet for a long time. I should be happy, he said, but I feel like I'm dreaming, because you're changing, Alara too replied. Your DNA is still evolving. Jack frowned. What do you mean evolving? She walked over, placed her hand over his heart. You were the first successful hybrid. Mira never realized how far your body would go. Go where? He asked, confused. You're becoming what that Ron feared most, she whispered. A bridge. The next morning, Jack woke up gasping. His eyes were burning. He looked into the mirror and saw veins glowing faintly under his skin. Blue light, just like Alara's. His hearing was sharper, his memory clearer, but something was wrong. He was hearing voices from miles away, crying, screaming, mechanical whispers. Jack clutched his head. Alara ran to him. It's starting. Your connection to the other hybrids. Other. What? She looked at him, fear in her eyes. They activated the backups, the other gates. Jack stared in disbelief. I thought the gate was sealed. It was, but not all of them. The core gate was one of many. She opened a map. Red marks blinked across the globe. Hidden gate sites. Active now. Mira tried to shut one, but they're on Planet 9. Each one is linked to a different hybrid, each one waking up now. And I'm linked to them? No, she said quietly. You're linked to all of them. Jack sat down, overwhelmed. Why me? Because you were made from all the DNA fragments Mira could recover. Human, alien, experimental. You're the final version, the one meant to bring all hybrids together. Jack looked horrified. So what am I now? Alara looked away. You're becoming a hive. That night, Jack dreamed of other versions of himself walking through burning cities, controlling storms, speaking in languages he didn't know. He saw hybrids humanoid, winged, scaled, some monsters looking at him like he was their creator. When he woke up, his hands were glowing, The world outside was changing. News reports mentioned strange storms, lights in the sky. Children speaking alien languages in their sleep. Scientists were disappearing, satellites falling, and people across the world had begun drawing the same symbol, one that Jack recognized from the gate. Alara told him, "It's a call, a gathering. They're coming to you." Jack knew what had to be done. "We have to stop them," he said. ELA to nodded. Double quotes, "Then you must complete the merge." Merge with what? With yourself, deep beneath the earth, in an ancient Iran ruin. A machine waited, a chair built from alien bone and metal. It glowed as Jack approached. He sat down. Wires reached into his spine. His memories flooded. Backward. Every moment with Alara. Every lie Mira told. Every step into something bigger than life. His body shook. His voice split in two. His skin burned from the inside. And when it was over, Jack opened his eyes. He could see across the world. He could feel every hybrid. He could hear the sky. Alara stepped forward. "You're ready." Jack stood. He wasn't afraid anymore. As they walked into the night, a storm began to rise. Not a normal storm, an Iran storm. Time slowed. Lightning cracked silently. Shadows moved like water. Hybrids were coming. Some to follow him. Some to kill him. The final war had begun. But Jack was no longer just a man. He was the bridge. Her last night beside Measters, the sky was broken. Clouds hung like torn fabric across the horizon. The stars blinked in strange patterns. Time itself felt wrong, to fast, to slow, to thin. And Jack Winter stood at the edge of the last Iran gate, the lone dot behind him. The world waited. Ahead, the final portal pulsed like a living thing, its glow matching the beat of Jack's heart. Inside him, everything was changing. He was no longer just human, no longer just the result of an experiment. He was a living bridge connecting all 9 hybrid lines across the world. And the gate was calling for a decision. Alara stepped beside him, quiet as breath. Her silver hair floated softly in the wind. "They'll come soon," she said. Jack didn't answer. His eyes were locked on the gate. "How many?" he asked. "Hundreds," she replied. "Maybe more. Hybrids, sentries, Iran echoes, all of them pulled to this spot." Jack nodded. "And they want me to lead them." Alara stepped in front of him. "They want to use you to finish what they started, to rewrite this planet, make it theirs." Jack looked into her eyes. "And what do you want?" She paused, then whispered, "I want you to choose for yourself." The earth began to shake. A signal shot through the sky, burning red like fire across a black canvas. The final gate began to open. Slowly, quietly. A voice echoed from it. "Receiver complete." Awaiting command. And then they came, from the trees, from the skies, from the dirt itself. They arrived, hybrids of every kind, some still human in shape, others long past the edge of biology, part machine, part beast, part Iran. But they all bowed before Jack. He didn't speak. He didn't have to. They could feel him now. He was their center. Then came the sentries, the secret human force created to stop the hybrids. They arrived in black dropships, armed with weapons meant to kill gods. They didn't bow. They pointed their guns. Jack Winters, their commander, said through a speaker, "You are classified as a global threat. Surrender now or be erased." Jack stood tall. He looked at Alara too. "You told me I was a bridge." "You are," she said softly. "Then I'm choosing the middle path." He raised his hand. Energy poured from him, not as a weapon, but as a signal. Every hybrid paused. Every soldier froze. For a moment, everything was still. Jack sent a message into their minds. Not words, memory. He showed them his life. Mira, Alara, the lab, the pain, the love, the fear, the choice. And then the gate. Some hybrids wept. Others fell to their knees. The sentries dropped their weapons, stunned by what they felt. One whispered, "He's not the enemy." Alara smiled, but Jack looked tired. Something inside him was burning out. She walked closer. "What's wrong?" she asked. "The gate's taken from me," he whispered. "I opened the others. Now it wants more. It wants me." A crack of light split the sky again. The gate began to twist. Distorted. Something was coming through. Not a hybrid, not an AU or ON. Something older. Something that had built the wrong. Jack turned to ELA or A- to double quotes go. "No, you have to. If it takes both of us, I'm not losing you again." He touched her face. "You won't, I promise." And then he stepped forward, toward the gate. The ground shook with every step. The hybrid screamed. The soldiers backed away. A massive shadow moved behind the portal. Tall, ancient, wrong. Jack stood in front of it and said one word. Close. The gate pulsed, resisting him. It wanted to stay open. It wanted him. He dropped to one knee, blood pouring from his nose, ears, eyes. But he held the command inside his mind. Close. Alarda ran to him. She grabbed his hand. Let me help. No, Jack said, shaking. This is my gate now. His voice was calm. Peaceful. It only listens. To me, and I'm telling it. We don't want this future. The gate screamed. Not in sound but in feeling. It didn't want to die. But Jack held firm. He whispered one final command. Lock it. Seal it. Bury it. Forever. The gate collapsed inward. Light exploded bright. White. Endless. And then silence. Jack's single quotes S body fell. Alarda caught him. His skin was pale. His breathing shallow. But he was alive. And the gate was gone. The hybrids vanished. Some fled. Some faded like dust. Some simply dissolved. The world was quiet again. Alarda stayed beside him that night. No words. Just the warmth of his hand in hers. His breathing slowly returned to normal. His eyes opened just before dawn. Did it work? He whispered. She nodded, smiling through tears. You saved them. All of them. Enough. He smiled faintly. Good. They sat together on the hill. Watching the first light of morning. And for the first time in a long time, there were no gates. No voices. No war. Just the sound of birds returning, and the girl he never stopped loving, sitting beside him. 1 year later. A child runs through a quiet forest, chasing a floating drone. He laughs, not knowing that years before, this ground was the final battlefield of a forgotten war. His mother watches him from a distance, silver hair glowing in the sun. She turns to her husband. Jack. Older now. Calmer. Human. Mostly. He wraps an arm around her. Think he'll ever know what we did? One day, Alara says, but not yet. They walk home in peace. The stars above, silent. For now.